Hi everyone, and welcome to TWF NXT. I, Gorilla Monsoon, here with Mike Lane and with Booker T. And today on NXT, we have a good show here today. Here today on NXT. You know, we understand that Roxanne Perez, the TWF Women's Heavyweight Fighter, is going to be here today on NXT. And man, she hasn't done nothing to get on look from anyone or anything. Well, first off, Booker T says, first off, Mike Lane says, Roxanne Perez behaves as if she's the greatest woman wrestler out there, and behaves as if she done everything in a year, since she done all those things, and she's only 22 years old. She believes that makes her the greatest woman wrestler out there. But at the end of the day, we know that that's bullshit. Mike Lane says, Gorilla. I'll tell you right now, Gorilla and Mike, the way I look at this, Booker T says, is you're just all angry that Roxanne Perez did in 22 years what neither of you could do in a long time. Booker T says, I mean, she's done things that neither of you could have done in those years, Booker T says. Is that right? Would you stop, Gorilla Monsoon? Would you stop, Booker? I done a lot of things in my time as a skilled wrestler before she was even born. You know, I was doing things as a beginner wrestling and skilled wrestling, and I've done things that she never did. So don't even start there, Mike. Don't even start with that. You know, because if you want to talk about all the things I did, I would have buried her, Gorilla Monsoon says. And you're going to tell me she's greater than you too, Booker T? Because it took you many years to win your first. Took you many years. You're going to say that she's greater than you and all the things you did in the GWF and WCW and WWF, WWE, TNA, WWE. Or is that? Oh, that's what I thought. Or also what we need to be thinking too here, Mike Lane says, you're going to say that she's greater than me and outdid all the things I did when I was in the NHL as a play-by-play caller. So that's what you're going to say too? No, what I meant to say is that she done a lot of things that you do, a lot more things that most folks couldn't do, you know, in her life. That's what I meant to say. And yes, I think some of you folks are only angry that you wish you would have done Gorilla Monsoon, or you wish you would have done Mike Lane, that you wish you could have done more and gotten done sooner than what you did. That's what I was saying. Booker T says, well, I see it highly unlikely, Booker T, that Roxanne Perez is greater than any other man or woman wrestler out there today, because she's done everything and she's only 22 years old, Gorilla Monsoon says. Would you be earnest? Yeah, I can tell you right now, Mike Lane says, she could talk about how she's done everything she's done and she's only 22 years old, but that's fine. But I can tell you that a lot of other sportsmen and sportswomen out there that have done a lot more than she's done. And you're going to say she's greater than all of them, Mike Lane says. Well, Roxanne Perez says, I must say that it's great to be the TWF Women's Heavyweight Fighter. And 3 times already, I already shamed it and beat, you know, Amber Moon, which you AEW followers will call Athena, but we'll call her Ember Moon. And you know, I could care less if Ember Moon is still the ROH women's heavyweight fighter in AEW. Because I was the first ROH women's heavyweight fighter. So, Amber Moon can't take that away from me. And speaking about how great I am so great, you know, I think I'm so great that he's in Dakota Kai, the women's world heavyweight fighter here. She could just, you know, give me the other strap. We could bond them into one. At least that's what I think we should do. What I think we should do is I think we should grow up a little, Roxanne Perez. You have this belief of yourself that you believe you are greater than every other woman wrestler. No need if it's WWE or TNA or NWA or MLW or OVW or AEW or ROH, which is just an offshoot of AEW these days. You know. But I'm here to tell you, you're not greater than anyone else. Is that so? Is that so, Madison Rayne, who can't even stand up? Let's see, Madison Rayne. Huh? You think you're so great because you won the TNA women's heavyweight winnings about, what, 3 or 4 times during your time in TNA, IW, GSW, IW, and then you went to AEW. You think you're the greatest out there because you had a one-off in WWE a long time ago, huh? Well, let me tell you something. I could care less about the Killer Bee, the Queen Bee. Yeah, the most dumbest song that TNA came up with for you. And I know, you want to know something, Roxanne Perez? I was the first TWF women's heavyweight fighter when that strap first came into being and 23rd between FYL. Long before you even showed up. Long before your doll was even made. I guess when you were still what? ROW? Or was that ROH? Because I think that strap came into being before you even started wrestling. And you could talk about how you won the ROW women's heavyweight winnings, and how you won the ROH women's heavyweight winnings, and how somehow you're now a 2-time WWE NXT women's heavyweight fighter, and you're gonna one day become the WWE women's heavyweight fighter or women's world heavyweight fighter. But I'm here to tell you, Roxanne Perez, you're not greater than any other woman wrestler out there. No need. What wrestling biz you happen to be in? Shit. Stand up. Stand up. Stand up. Come on, stand up. There we go. So, you think you're so greater than me? Why don't we have a match? Well, that's where I think I can help you with that, Daniel Bryan says, because we only have so much time to do NXT. So the way I look at it, I can't stand up. So the way I look at it, here today, we will see Roxanne Perez take on Madison Rayne for the TWF Women's Heavyweight winnings here today on NXT. And now we're just going to get the Fight Lord in the ring now, and we'll see what will be. Fuck, stand up! Stand up. There you go. This match is for the TWF Women's Heavyweight winnings. First, she is Madison Rayne. and she is the TWF Women's Heavyweight Fighter, Roxanne Perez. Well, first off, Gorilla Monsoon said one of your gifted learners, Booker T, hadn't learned onlook. You thought you would have taught her that. Gorilla Monsoon says, and a hip toss, and a drop kick, and a body slam, Roxanne Perez gives to Madison Rayne. First off, Gorilla Monsoon, you don't need to have any onlook. It's all about straps and gals here. It's not about onlook. It's not about caring. No one gives a shit if you onlook anyone in the ring. You were a former wrestler, Gorilla Monsoon. You knew how it was like. I learned how to onlook folks when I was in the ring, Booker T. And I'm sad to feel that you don't think that any wrestlers should be giving onlook to anyone in the ring. Well, Mike Lane says, it looks like Booker T has a right to his belief. He likes playing the heel. He's always liked being a heel. And Madison Rayne right now is taking out Roxanne Perez. Mike Lane says, will Madison Rayne win the TWF winnings back? Mike Lane says, we won't know, Gorilla Monsoon said. 1, 2, and a kick out. And we'll say, if she does, then I'll be great for her. And Roxanne Perez right now is in a bind. Oh, she's saying her legs, she's saying there's something wrong, with her leg. She's pulling that stunt. There's nothing wrong with her. She's not wounded and harmed in any way, Gorilla Monsoon said. Don't fall for it, fight keeper. Yeah, don't fight for that, Mike Lane says. She's a heel. She can't be trusted, Mike Lane says. So much for the onlooking caring, Booker T says. And Pop rocks. Pop rocks. It's a lie, Gorilla Monsoon said. She's not wounded. She's not harmed in any way, Gorilla Monsoon said. That's a lie. Yeah, Mike Lane says. She played us. Yeah, Booker T said. Now can Roxanne Perez beat Madison Rayne? Now can you dig that sucker up? 1, 2, 3. Ding ding ding. Here is your winner. Here is your winner, and still the TWF Women's Heavyweight Fighter, Roxanne Perez. And Roxanne Perez has beat Madison Rayne here today on NXT, and she's still the TWF Women's Heavyweight Fighter. However, she did not do it in an onlooking way. She did not do it in an onlooking way, Gorilla Monsoon says. No, she did not, Mike Lane says. She did it in a very shameful way, and I don't think anyone will be onlooking Roxanne Perez anytime soon, for what she did, Mike Lane says. I think you're being hard on Roxanne Perez, Gorilla and Mike. I think that you are being hard on her, because you're telling me, Gorilla Monsoon, you wouldn't have done anything like that when you were in the ring wrestling. No, I wouldn't have done anything like that when I was in the ring wrestling, Booker T. And I wouldn't have done anything like that. Gorilla Monsoon says Roxanne Perez should be ashamed of herself. That's right, Mike Lane says. I truly believe that Roxanne Perez, should be ashamed of herself for the way that she got that win here today on NXT. All right. Gorilla Monsoon says, take it away, Bob Walk. Well, thank you, Thank you, Gorilla Monsoon and Mike Lane. I'm going to be talking with Roxanne Perez here today on NXT. Oh, gotta get this strap on myself. Well, Roxanne Perez, you have not have gotten no love or no onlook from the TWF followership for after what you did here today. What did I do? I beat Madison Rayne. I outwised her here today on NXT. And I'm talking with a former pitcher or thrower who in MLB who is only known for falling out of his seat. Well, let me tell you something right now, Mike Lane. Bob Locke says, should you, do you really think it's right to, cuts, to do cheap wins and, do things that are shameful in the wrestling ring? Well, Bob Locke, you're not telling me that when you used to play club ball and MLB that you didn't do things like that? But then again, I did things at 23 that you couldn't do at 23 when you were in MLB. And I beat Madison Rayne. I beat the first TWF women's heavyweight fighter. So who gives a shit about onlook or not? Well, that's my talk with Roxanne Perez. Back to you, Gorilla Monsoon and Mike Lane. Well, thank you, Bob Locke, for talking with Roxanne Perez here today on NXT. And that's all the time we've got here for NXT. For I, Gorilla Monsoon, with Mike Lane and Booker T, we hope you like NXT, and we'll see you tomorrow for Dynamite or Mike.